Desperate measures. The bridge of the Vexarian medical vessel Healing Dawn resembled a disaster zone more than a command center. Emergency lighting cast everything in hellish red shadows, while damaged consoles sparked intermittently. Captain Zara. Kalani pressed a scaled hand against her bleeding forehead, watching her beautiful ship die around her. "Status report," she commanded, her voice steady despite the chaos. Commander Vex, her reptilian features pale with exhaustion, looked up from his damaged station. Life support holding at 60%. Main engines completely offline, which running on emergency power only. He paused, his throat sac inflating with stress. "Captain, the medical bay reports 17 children with severe injuries from the attack." Kaloni's heart sank. The 43 refugee children aboard were supposed to be safe on her medical vessel. The Healing Dawn was clearly marked with galactic medical symbols, protected under 17 different treaties. That hadn't stopped the Crimson Claw pirates from attacking without warning. "How long can we maintain current life support?" she asked. 18 hours, maybe 20 if we shut down non-essential systems. The view screen flickered, showing the asteroid field where they'd taken refuge. Somewhere in that rocky maze, the pirates were hunting for them. The Healing Dawn had been carrying medical supplies to war-torn colonies when they'd taken on the refugee children as an emergency humanitarian mission. Now those children might die because she'd believed in the sanctity of medical vessels. "There is something else, Captain," Dex said quietly. Long-range sensors detected an energy signature before they went offline. "There's a structure in this system, approximately 6 light minutes away." Kalani studied the rough coordinates he provided. "Pirates, unknown." The energy readings suggest advanced technology, but not matching any known pirate configurations. She weighed their options: stay hidden and slowly die, or risk contact with unknown aliens. For the children's sake, there was really no choice at all. Set course for the energy signature, minimum power. 3 hours later, the Healing Dawn limped toward what appeared to be a massive research station built into an asteroid. The structure bristled with sensor arrays and docking ports. Most importantly, it was broadcasting a general assistance beacon in 17 different languages. "Unknown vessel, this is Titan Research Station," came a voice over the communication system. The universal translator struggled with the accent. "You appear to be in distress. State your need and intentions." Kalani activated the communication panel. "Titan Station, this is Captain Zara Kalani of the Vexarian Alliance medical vessel Healing Dawn. We have sustained critical damage and are carrying injured civilians, including children. We request emergency repairs and medical assistance." There was a brief pause. "Captain Kalani, this is Chief Engineer Marcus Rodriguez. Transmit your vessel specifications and damage reports. We'll prepare a docking berth immediately." The efficiency startled her. No lengthy negotiations, no demands for payment arrangements, just immediate action. As they approached the docking bay, Kalani saw something that made her double take. Station wasn't just broadcasting the assistance beacon. It was actively scanning space around them, as if watching for threats. The docking procedure was flawlessly executed by the station's automated systems. As soon as the Healing Dawn was secured, the main airlock cycled open. 3 beings in environmental suits entered, but their body language was distinctly non-threatening. The first removed his helmet, revealing a face unlike anything in Kaloni's extensive xenobiological knowledge. The skin was dark brown, the head covered in short black hair, and the eyes were an unusual hazel color. Most striking was the expression of immediate concern and competence. "I'm Marcus Rodriguez, but everyone calls me Tank," he said, his voice carrying authority and warmth. This is Dr. Elena Vasquez, our xenobiologist, and Kai Chen, our technical specialist. Dr. Vasquez, with long dark hair and intelligent eyes, was already scanning the refugee children with a medical tricorder of unfamiliar design. The injured ones need immediate attention. Our medical bay can handle xenophysiology. We've got adaptive treatment protocols. Kai, young and energetic, with spiky black hair and cybernetic implants behind his ears, was staring at the Healing Dawn's damaged systems with an expression of professional horror. Captain, who did this to you? Pirates. Called the Crimson Claw, Kalani replied. They ignored our medical vessel status and attacked without warning. Tank's expression darkened considerably. Pirates attacking a medical ship carrying kids. He exchanged glances with his companions. That's not just illegal, that's unforgivable. Dr. Vasquez was gently examining one of the Vexarian children, her hands glowing with a soft blue light from some kind of healing device. These little ones have been through trauma. Their stress hormones are off the charts. She looked up at Kalani. How long have you been running? 36 hours since the attack. We've been trying to reach the nearest Alliance medical station, but our FTL drive was destroyed. Kai was now crawling through a damaged conduit, his voice echoing strangely. Tank, you need to see this. They didn't just attack, they targeted every defensive system. This was professional work. Tank nodded grimly. Pirates don't usually have that kind of precision. Someone wanted this ship helpless, not destroyed. He looked at Kalani with new understanding. Captain, what weren't you telling us? Medical ships don't carry refugees unless something big is happening. Kalani hesitated, then decided these humans deserved the truth. The children are from the Kepler colony massacre. They're the only survivors. We were transporting them to a safe world when the pirates found us. The three humans went very still. Dr. Vasquez's healing device flickered as her hands tightened. The Kepler colony massacre, she repeated quietly. We heard about that. 30,000 civilians. These children watched their families die, Kalani confirmed. They've been through enough. Tank was quiet for a long moment, then activated a communication device on his wrist. All departments, this is Tank. Code 7, humanitarian emergency. I want every off-duty engineer, every spare part, and every combat upgrade we've got in storage. We have a medical ship that needs to not just survive, but win. Tank, Kai called from inside the damaged system. The good news is their base technology is solid, really solid. The bad news is they're about 40 years behind current defensive standards. That's not necessarily bad news, Tank replied with a grin that looked predatory. That means we can upgrade everything without compatibility issues. Dr. Vasquez was helping the children into comfortable quarters while simultaneously brewing something in a small device she'd produced from her medical kit. The smell was rich, dark, and somehow comforting. Coffee, she explained to Kalani's curious look. Humans invented it as liquid stress relief. Your crew looks like they need some coffee. Kalani tried the word, caffeinated beverage, stimulant, comfort food, and social bonding ritual all in one. Elena handed her a steaming cup. Try it. Small sips. The liquid was bitter but warming, with an complex flavor that seemed to spread relaxation through Kalani's exhausted body. This is ... pleasant. Coffee fixes a lot of problems, Elena agreed. Tank, how long for basic repairs? Tank was studying readouts on a portable display. Basic repairs to get them mobile again. maybe 18 hours. His grin turned fierce. But I'm not talking about basic repairs anymore. Kalani felt a chill that had nothing to do with the station's temperature. What do you mean? I mean those pirates are probably still hunting you. And when they find out you made it to our station, they're going to come looking. Tank's expression was completely serious now. So, we're not just fixing your ship, Captain. We're upgrading it. Upgrading it how? Kai emerged from the conduit, covered in diagnostic gel, but grinning widely. Well, your power systems can handle about 3 times their current load. Your structural integrity is actually overbuilt from your current mass, and your computer systems are practically begging for an AI integration upgrade. What my colleagues are dancing around, Dr. Vasquez said calmly, sipping her own coffee, is that humans have a tendency to over-engineer solutions to problems. You came here asking for repairs. What you're going to get is a completely transformed vessel. Tank nodded. The way I see it, those children have been through enough. They deserve to reach their destination safely. And anyone who attacks medical ships carrying refugee kids needs to learn a very hard lesson about human protective instincts. The implications hit Kalani like a physical blow. You're talking about turning a medical vessel into a warship. We're talking about turning a medical vessel into a medical vessel that can fight back, Tank corrected. There's a difference. Commander Vex had been quietly listening to the conversation, his throat sac inflating and deflating with stress. Signals, Captain. Our laws prohibit medical vessels from carrying offensive weapons. Good thing we're not Vexarian, Kai said cheerfully. Human engineering ethics are pretty simple. If someone attacks civilians, especially kids, all bets are off. Dr. Vasquez was monitoring the children through her medical sensors. Their stress levels are finally dropping. They feel safe for the first time in days. She looked at Kalani with eyes that were suddenly hard as steel. Captain, I took an oath to do no harm. But sometimes, doing no harm means making sure that people who hurt innocents can't do it again. Tank activated his wrist communicator again. Engineering teams Alpha through Delta, report to Docking Bay 7. Bring the good stuff from Storage Vault 12. He looked at Kalani. Captain, I'm going to need you to make a decision. Do you trust us to help you? Kalani looked around at the 3 humans. Tank, built like a warrior, but with gentle hands when examining her damaged ship. Dr. Vasquez, radiating competence and compassion in equal measure. Kai, young but clearly brilliant, treating her vessel's wounds with the same care a doctor would show a patient. You're not just offering repairs, she realized. You're offering protection. We're offering justice, Tank replied simply. Those kids deserve to grow up. Anyone who tries to stop that is going to have problems with us. The decision, when it came, felt inevitable. These humans had looked at her desperate situation and immediately moved to not just solve it, but solve it permanently. They weren't just engineers, they were guardians. Do it, Kalani said. Transform the healing dawn. Tank's grin was fierce with anticipation. Captain, when we're done with your ship, those pirates are going to wish they'd never heard of the Crimson Claw. As if summoned by his words, the station's alert system began blaring. A technician's voice echoed through the docking bay. All stations, multiple ships dropping out of FTL at system perimeter. Configuration matches Crimson Claw pirate vessels. Estimated arrival time, 14 hours. Tank looked at the healing dawn, then at his team, then back at Kalani. Well, looks like we're working to a deadline. Good thing humans work best under pressure. Asterisk, human solutions. The transformation of the healing dawn began immediately, and it was unlike anything Captain Kalani had ever witnessed. Within minutes of Tank's orders, dozens of humans swarmed over her ship with a focused intensity that bordered on terrifying. They weren't just working, they were engineering with barely controlled fury. First priority is structural reinforcement, Tank explained as he guided Kalani through the chaos. Your hull can take more punishment than current specs suggest. But we need to upgrade the framework. Kai was already deep in the ship's computer core, his cybernetic implants glowing as he interfaced directly with the systems. Their computing architecture is actually more robust than ours in some ways. He called out, less efficient, but way more stable under stress. I can integrate our defensive AI without replacing their core systems. Dr. Vasquez had set up what she called a mobile medical station that seemed to run on coffee and determination. She was simultaneously monitoring the refugee children, analyzing Vexarian physiology, and coordinating medical upgrades to the ship's sickbay. Tank, I need those new medical scanners installed in the primary care unit. And someone needs to explain to me why Vexarian children respond so well to chocolate. They have chocolate sensors, Kalani asked, startled. Most carbon-based species do. It's a comfort food indicator. Alina handed her another cup of coffee, this one somehow even more comforting than the first. Cocoa compounds trigger endorphin release across a surprisingly wide range of physiologies. The work proceeded with mechanical precision, but there was something else driving the humans. Every time one of them glanced at the refugee children, their expressions hardened with determination. These weren't just engineers anymore, they were protectors preparing for war. Captain Kalani called a new voice. A tall woman with grey hair and commander's insignia approached. I'm Commander Sarah Walsh, Station Military Liaison. Tank asked me to discuss defensive upgrades with you. Military Liaison, Kalani repeated. Titan. Station is officially a research facility. Unofficially, we're also a forward monitoring post for this sector. Walsh's smile was sharp. We keep an eye on pirate activity and other threats to civilian shipping. The Crimson Claw has been on our watch list for months. Tank looked up from where he was installing something that looked like a weapon system. Sarah, show her the upgrade package. Commander Walsh activated a holographic display that showed the healing dawn in cutaway view. The image was shocking. Her elegant medical vessel was being transformed into something that looked like a predatory animal. We're installing Class C shield generators, point defense laser arrays, and electronic warfare suites. Your medical vessel designation will be preserved, but you'll have enough firepower to discourage attackers. This seems excessive for defensive measures, Commander Vex observed nervously. Commander, Walsh said seriously, the Crimson Claw operates with 12 ships. They've been systematically hunting medical and civilian vessels because they know we can't legally retaliate under interstellar law. Her expression turned grim. What they didn't account for is human protective instincts. Dr. Vasquez looked up from her medical station. The way humans see it, anyone who attacks medical ships carrying children has forfeited their right to civilized treatment. We're not bound by your non-aggression treaties with pirates. Kai's voice echoed from inside a computer housing. Plus, technically we're not giving you weapons. We're giving you very aggressive defensive systems. There's a legal difference. The distinction seemed important to the humans, though Kalani wasn't entirely sure she understood it. What she did understand was that her ship was being transformed by beings who took the protection of children as a sacred duty. Status report, Tank called out. Structural reinforcements at 60%, reported one engineer. Shield generators online and calibrated for Vexarian power systems, called another. Coffee supplies at critical levels, Dr. Vasquez added, with mock seriousness, earning chuckles from the work crews. Prioritize the coffee, Tank responded immediately, apparently not joking. Tired engineers make mistakes, and we can't afford mistakes. Commander Vex pulled Kalani aside. Captain, I must express concerns about accepting military upgrades from an unknown species. This could be considered an act of war by the pirates. The pirates already committed an act of war when they attacked us. Kalani replied firmly, these humans are giving us the ability to protect our charges. That's worth any risk. 8 hours into the work, the first major test came. Kai had finished installing what he called a sensor integration package and wanted to run a systems check. When the Healing Dawn's new sensors came online, the results were startling. Contact called the sensor operator. 3 ships, Crimson Claw configuration, approaching from the asteroid field. They're trying to stay hidden. Commander Walsh was at the tactical station instantly. They're scouting ahead of the main fleet. Standard pirate doctrine, send a few ships to confirm the target's location. Tank wiped his hands on a rag, his expression thoughtful. How long until the main fleet arrives? Approximately 8 hours, assuming they maintain current approach speed. Perfect. Tank activated his communicator. All teams, we're moving to accelerated schedule. I want every upgrade online in 6 hours. The work pace intensified even further. Humans were running between stations, installing equipment with practiced efficiency. Dr. Vasquez had somehow produced more coffee and was distributing it along with something she called energy bars that tasted like concentrated nutrition. And determination, Captain Kai called excitedly. You need to see this. The bridge of the Healing Dawn had been subtly transformed. The elegant Vexarian displays now showed tactical information alongside medical readouts. The new systems integrated seamlessly with the original design, as if they had always been part of the ship. This is your new defensive AI, Kai explained, gesturing to a holographic interface. Her name is Diana, and she's specifically programmed for protection of medical vessels and civilian populations. A pleasant female voice filled the bridge. Hello, Captain Kalani. I am Diana, your defensive systems coordinator. I've analyzed the approaching threats and prepared countermeasure recommendations. Countermeasure recommendations? Kalani repeated. The scout ships are attempting to gather intelligence on your capabilities. I recommend allowing them to observe outdated information while concealing our actual defensive upgrades. Tank nodded approvingly. Smart AI, Diana. Show the captain our current defensive status. The holographic display lit up with weapon placements, shield strength indicators, and tactical projections. The Healing Dawn looked like an entirely different vessel. This is incredible, Commander Vex whispered. But will it be enough against 12 pirate ships? Commander Walsh smiled grimly. Commander, your ship won't be facing them alone. As if summoned by her words, 3 sleek human vessels emerged from concealed positions around the station. They were smaller than the Healing Dawn, but bristled with weapon systems. Titan Station Defense Fleet, Walsh explained. We've been waiting for an excuse to deal with the Crimson Claw permanently. Dr. Vasquez appeared on the bridge, carrying a tray of coffee and looking satisfied. The children are all stable and comfortable. I've installed personal shield generators in their quarters. Military-grade protection. Her expression hardened. Anyone who wants to hurt those kids will have to go through multiple layers of human engineering. The scout ships had approached her within scanning range and were conducting detailed sensor sweeps. Diana monitored their activities with electronic precision. They are attempting to penetrate our sensor masking, Diana reported. Should I maintain concealment or reveal our capabilities? Tank considered this. What do you recommend? I recommend revealing just enough capability to discourage a direct assault while concealing our true defensive strength. Pirates prefer easy targets. If we appear moderately defended, they may attempt negotiation first. Negotiation, Kalani asked. Pirates often demand tribute rather than risk combat losses, Commander Walsh explained. It gives us an opportunity to get them closer before we spring the trap. Trap, Commander Vex looked nervous. Tank's grin was predatory. Commander, humans have been dealing with pirates for thousands of years. We've gotten very good at it. The scout ships completed their reconnaissance and withdrew to a safe distance. Within an hour, a communication signal arrived from the main pirate fleet. Medical vessel Healing Dawn, came a harsh voice over the communication system. This is Captain Vex Carano of the Crimson Claw. You are in violation of our territorial claim to this system. Surrender your cargo and passengers, and we will allow your crew to live. Kalani looked at Tank, who nodded encouragingly. She activated the communication panel. Captain Corono, this is Captain Kalani. The Healing Dawn is a medical vessel operating under galactic humanitarian protocols. We carry only medical supplies and civilian refugees. Refugees can be sold, Carano replied coldly, especially young ones. You have 30 minutes to prepare for boarding. The communication cut off, and the bridge fell silent. Then Tank began to chuckle, a sound that was somehow more threatening than a growl. Diana, he said quietly, please prepare all defensive systems. Full combat protocols, acknowledged. All systems are operational and ready for engagement. Commander Walsh activated the fleet communication system. All vessels, this is Walsh. Pirates have just threatened to enslave refugee children. You know what that means. The response from the human fleet was immediate and unanimous. Understood, Commander. No survivors. Dr. Vasquez looked up from her medical station. Captain Kalani, I need you to understand something about human psychology. We have what you might call a protective override. When children are threatened, especially after trauma, we stop being engineers and doctors and become something else entirely. What do you become? Kalani asked, though she was beginning to understand. We become the thing that monsters have nightmares about, Tank replied simply. The pirate fleet dropped out of FTL exactly on schedule, 12 vessels in attack formation, moving toward the Healing Dawn with predatory confidence. They had no idea what was waiting for them. All stations, battle stations, Tank announced. It's time to show these pirates what happens when you threaten human-protected civilians. The Healing Dawn powered up its new systems, and Captain Kalani felt a fierce satisfaction. Her medical vessel was still dedicated to healing, but now it could also protect those who needed protection most. The pirates were about to learn a very hard lesson about human protective instincts. Engage, Kalani ordered, and Diana's weapons came online with surgical precision. The battle was short, decisive, and educational. When it was over, the Crimson Claw pirate organization no longer existed, and the refugee children were safe to continue their journey to Sanctuary. Tank found Kalani on the observation deck afterward, sharing coffee and watching the stars. Thank you, she said simply. Thank you for trusting us, Tank replied. Those kids deserve to grow up safe. What happens now? Tank smiled. Now you have a permanent human engineering liaison aboard your ship. Dr. Vasquez volunteered, and Kai insisted on installing permanent upgrade packages. His expression grew serious. Captain, those children aren't the only refugees who need protection. If you're willing, we'd like to make this partnership permanent. Kalani thought about the battle, about the humans who had immediately moved. To protect strangers, about the coffee and the fierce competence, and the absolute refusal to let innocent children suffer. I think, she said finally, that sounds like an excellent idea. And so the Vexarian Alliance gained their first human partners, the refugee children reached safety, and the galaxy learned that threatening human-protected civilians was a mistake that few would live to repeat.